So a couple of weeks ago, I decided to go ahead and try to get an achievement I've been missing in Rampage Knights, which was to beat the game on insane mode. And I originally was doing it at 2 a.m. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to actually possibly do this. Well, about halfway through, it ended up going fairly well. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start recording this just to see if potentially I actually beat this thing. And sure enough, I managed to beat it. This is the third stage, going all the way to the end of my insane run, beating the game as a Warlock. I hope you enjoy. So, it was about at this point I started realizing I'm doing really freaking well. Like, I'm at the third level, I'm a Warlock, and I haven't lost any of my vitality, and I've actually got an extra life going. So for those who aren't familiar with how insane mode works in Rampage Knights, basically every single time you manage to beat a level, you end up getting an additional curse or disease each time. As you can tell, I've already got a single curse here, which is the Curse of Darkness. That's those little eyes up in the top right. And I got a new curse for this level, which is the Bunny Curse, which is why you see me running around with rabbit ears. Now, there's some additional things as far as insane goes, where you take more difficulty, you have lower vitality. Part of the bunny disease is the reason my health's at 30 instead of the 50 you were seeing earlier. But if you're actually playing on hard, your character's health is going to be at 60. So, decreased health is just one of the side effects. And the whole beating on insane, you got one chance to do it. There's a total of, I want to say it's 3 stages boss level, 2 stages boss level, then 1 stage boss level. So what is that? 4, another one. So 7, so about 9 stages altogether. And going solo, if you die, there's nobody bringing you back. On the bright side, you're finding a few less enemies. My current build's relying on a Warlock, which gives you default extra lives. As long as you have at least one of those demons max leveled, you get an extra life for it. Any gold chest or higher gives you something good out of it. For instance, this time I just got that arcane blade. I can't pick up that little lightning gem right there because I have a familiar. Well, not specifically familiar. I am a Warlock, and Warlocks can't have familiars. Basically, you either get the advantage of being able to come back to life anytime you have a high-level demon, or you can have familiars. That gray chest is just going to give me some gold, possibly a potion, which is very helpful. For instance, right now I am diseased as heck, and I'd like that to go away. Specifically poisoned as heck. This is one of the big turning points here, because I just drew a toxic elixir of life. Put it in again. We just got another one, which I'd love to take, except for it gives you 99 poison whenever you pop that thing, and I just got a small health potion. However, you can destroy these chests, and it'll give you another potion. Downside, it does something to you, and since it poisoned me, I'm going to go ahead and use both of these, get my health up, and that mysterious potion just basically cured me of my poison and max health. So that mystery potion was actually the large health potion, I believe, is what does that. So that was exceedingly lucky again. It's very possible I could have pulled a mountain strength, mountain schnapps, which basically does damage along with hitting you. Or does damage to you along with giving you a strength boost. This room is really nice since whenever you destroy that pig, it drops a decent amount of food. That's probably about 30 to 40 points of health. Downside, I'm already at max health, so I don't really need that, but it's still something. Also, whenever you're playing the game, you can go ahead and utilize that keg up at the top, and you should be able to actually, it gives you basically like the same effect as rum. It'll cure you of all of your diseases, but you get drunk. Bright side, drunk is only 3 rounds. It's better to be drunk for 3 rounds than take damage. And you'll notice occasionally whenever I'm hitting enemies, you'll see those little sparks flying out. Well, those little sparks are magic missiles, which is a thing that happens on crit with that sword. Now, whenever I came into this level, you'll notice it said Curse of Midas, which basically is the curse of anytime you hit food on the ground now, it'll turn into gold instead of giving you actual food. So I lost one of my normal ways of healing, which is a little problematic. It means now I'm only going to be able to heal via health potion. Which there's another curse that could really mess it up, which is the Alchemist Nightmare, which makes it so potions just have random effects. This is the first boss, though, of my run. He's pretty easy to beat, well, relatively. The only problem with him is you have to jump and hit the center eye to finally actually kill him. You can destroy his 2 feet on the left and the right. Whenever the eye's out, you can do damage. If the eye's not out, you can't. But destroying those 2 feet don't actually impede their ability to do attacks or anything. So you really just need to destroy that center one. You don't have to destroy the 2 side ones to be able to win. You just gotta kill the center. And this attack here is my bane. On the bright side, thanks to those tonics earlier, I'm sitting at 4 lives. I have all 3 of my demons, so I have 1 spare life anyways, which comes in handy when that happens. So you'll notice all my demons are gone. However, by killing enemies, you get your demons back. And so I already have an adult demon. If I kill a couple more enemies, he'll keep going up to higher levels. And man, do I hate those things. Those are probably the most effective thing this guy does at actually hurting me. I also wish I had actually had an attack I could use for directional. You'll notice that lightning rod just kind of goes wherever. It basically randomly attacks something inside of its range. Right before this, I actually got my demon leveled up. That's the whole immortality bit. Where you actually saw it say demonic level up, mortality granted, or immortality. That now basically means that if I happen to die again, which there's a good chance I'm going to do it, I get to come back. And really, the jumping up and hitting the eye is the biggest problem. Now, the lady in the outfit is familiar, so I can't use her. That little thing next to me is the teleporter, which is one of the more worthless powers. It lets you bounce across the room really quickly, but it doesn't actually do any damage, and I'd rather be able to damage enemies. Now, it should be 2 more stages until the next boss, so I just gotta make it through those. I'm still doing really well on lives, you'll notice. I'm up to 5 lives instead of just the 4 I started with. Plus, I've got my demons still. And this new axe, which is just... it's great, to a point at least. I mean, it's killing them. Anytime you see enemies with a shield in this, you can't actually damage the enemies until you break the shield, except for by using special abilities on them. Special abilities would be poisoning them, lighting them on fire, freezing them. All those add special ability or special effect attacks to the enemy, in which case they bypass the shield. That armored guy already by default decreased damage. And you see those little green guys? Whenever you kill them, their head will pop off, and it'll spawn another one of them unless you actually destroy the head. So you've got to make sure you actually clean up after your kills. Otherwise, you just keep on killing the same guy repeatedly. Plus, that big guy that has the Reaper Sword, I believe does poison damage. Plus, he just hurts. He is... yeah, he basically would probably do about 20 points of damage if I actually let him hit me. Which I'm going to avoid at all costs. And there goes a life. However, that's just going to take away my demons. Which I should be able to get back as long as I don't screw up. Already got my first part of the demon back. The sooner he goes to the old craggy demon, I'm great. And there's Midas kicking in again, which, hey, free silver, right? You'll have little side rooms like this all over the place. They're normally used to get additional loot for the most part. Like, you'll go up there and you'll get lucky and you'll have a chest or whatever. That one had really nothing useful in it, so it ended up just being me wasting time killing some enemies. The bane of this game is the fact that anytime you fall into any of those pits, that's insta-death. So it's very easy to screw up on a roll, get knocked, get hit, and instantly die and lose a life. Which, if I don't have, you know, multiple demons at the time, means I'm actually dead. I might have juggled that guy a little too much, but whatever. Oh, right down here we got another gold chest, which is another opportunity to actually get some good loot. And that is the dragon armor, which will grant me immunity to fire. Viper sword, poisonous weapon, which means if I hit enemies, I will do poison to them. However, I'm enjoying this fact that this weapon I have actually really wrecks large enemies and bosses. I'd rather have the percent damage boost. And this cheese just lets it so anytime you're close to enemies, you will poison them. Doesn't work on undead enemies, of course. Undead is immune to poison, but it will work on all the rest of them. You'll notice whenever I'm near him, it says ineffective by the undead. That just means the poison's not working. Versus this guy jumping around at me, you'll notice he just catches 5 points of damage. There's some different stuff you can get in the game to actually boost your damage, like salamander oil, or I think there's a couple other poison ones. Salamander oil is really the big one, which bonuses or doubles your poison damage. I think there might be another thing that does it as well. I just don't remember what it is. But there's another stage done. That's 4 out of 9. Oh, I was wrong. Apparently after that one stage there, we're just right onto a boss fight. This is the arena fight. So basically you have several different stages to the arena. I think it's 3 if I'm remembering right. Where you'll have 3 waves of enemies that you gotta kill them all. And I'm just gonna take advantage of my poison here because it's doing a nice wide effect damage to all of them. And I can just roll around and not take damage and poison them. Because they just keep dropping. I mean, I'm killing them and hurting them without actually even standing a chance of them hitting me. So it's just letting me clean out the horde very quickly. Not so much with this guy anymore. This guy's able to quick attack and jump and have an area effect. So I want to get rid of him as fast as possible. Because he's really annoying. Once he's gone, taking care of the archers and all that is very easy. You'll notice that skull on their icon, on their health bar, that means they're undead, which again means they're not affected by my poison attack. Also, these are the guys whose heads you have to destroy. So I've got to run around and try to destroy as many as possible each time I pop some off so I can actually thin out the enemies. I believe the fireballs from my failures can hit them. I'm not sure if the poison damage works on the head, because I didn't see too many of them actually come back from the dead. This is just more about how I said the whole gray chests only give you... Gray chests only actually give you gold. However, you'll notice up on top now, I caught a new disease. I have a Curse of Alchemist, or Alchemist's Nightmare. So that curse basically makes it so now potions will do whatever they want. I no longer actually can know what my potions are going to do. For this round, I've been affected by Jumping Disease in addition to all the rest. So I'm currently sitting with 3 courses, Curse of Darkness, Curse of Midas, and Curse of Jumping Disease. Which means I have no reliable way of getting help anymore. And I completely didn't notice those spikes sitting there. They're a little hidden in the environment. So I take a gamble, pull on the potion, and I got Pumping Iron. Which I believe is just Bodybuilder, which means I actually take a loss to my health. I believe Bodybuilder, if I'm remembering right, you lose, I think it's like 3% of your health and gain 5% strength or something. Or at least something like that. But we do got another gold chest out of this room. And it is, yeah, it's in a bad spot. I just messed up and got yeeted over the cliff. However, that time went a little better. Potion of Unbreakable, you lose half your vitality, but you gain stuff. There's really not a reason to use potions. Reason I'm picking up the hammer is purely for the damage. This hammer is actually one of my least favorite weapons. Basically, every time you jump, you can switch the attribute the hammer uses for damage, which is really annoying. Because it means that you just randomly switch from poison to frost to fire. It means you can choose effectively what will actually damage the enemies you're fighting. Because if I was using poison damage right now and dealing with all these undead, I wouldn't be doing any damage. However, using fire or ice is very effective against them. On the bright side, whenever I got Geeter off that cliff, I did already have my, I had all my minions, so I didn't actually lose a life. I just went back to the same life I had had. So I'm still sitting at the 4 original lives I managed to get through the Unbreakable Potion. Or not the Unbreakable Potions. The Elixir of Lives. Which means this run's gonna probably go very well. I mean, the fact that I have so many bonus lives is just great. And I just managed to obtain Immortality again. You'll notice I've gone up to 5 lives. I'm gonna pull on this thing. However, this is a huge, huge risk. So the Wheel of Misfortune, you have a chance to get something really good. You have chances to get familiars. You also have a chance to just have a randomization where it basically randomizes all of your stuff, which really, really, really screws you over sometimes. This one was the chest one. However, I'm currently infected with Ducky Disease, so I can't see it. So I'm going to actually probably come back and get that loot in a bit once the Ducky Disease is gone. These big guys actually do some mad damage, and they're actually technically 4 enemies in one. So whenever you kill the large ones, you actually have 3 little enemies that pop out inside of them. So whenever you're playing co-op, they're really, really useful for getting your partner back because, 4 enemies out of 1 guy. And once you kill that top guy, the lower guys inside of him have very little health. Downside is he does some really, really bad damage. I mean, he hurts. If I screw up and get hit, that's how much he hurts. 1 hit dropped almost 30 of my health points. Yeah. As far as the rest of these guys go, most of them aren't too bad. I managed actually to grow my health quite a bit. And that's because I have the Mighty Bean, which basically is any area I manage to live through without getting a single hit, without the enemies hitting me at all, I get an additional 2 vitality for it. So I have a way to easily gain more and more health as I play. However, I actually have to manage not to get hit, which means mentally, you avoid a lot of the fight. Got Immortality back again, which, thank goodness. That means I'm back to no longer risking my actual lives I've got, but I'm just risking that basic one again as far as my demon life. The other one cleared. This game can take a while. As far as how it goes, and that's a really bad curse too. So we just got our 4th curse, which is the curse of animating objects. So basically all the objects that are in the area now get animated whenever I get close to them. Which means you've got to watch where you're going. This is another one that can be a blessing and a curse in co-op, because now all these bases have lives and will give a soul to your teammate if they're dead. But on the flip side, you now have all of your enemies that would normally be in the room multiplied by all the objects. There can only be so many objects that come alive at any given time, but that can still be enough to really hinder and mess you up. And since I am running solo, this is actually bad for me. This is one of the few ones I've got that is probably terrible. Curse of Midas is not terrible in regards to the fact that you can get a lot of gold, right? You basically get 1 gold, I think, for about every health point you would gain. So Curse of Midas, you get a 5 health piece of meat, you get 5 point instead. So it's really good as far as actually being able to get money. You'll notice I have 606. That is quite a bit higher than you'll normally end up getting in a run. And I'm not even at the end. But on the flip side, well, also Curse of Alchemist Nightmare is another one that can be bad and good. It means you no longer know when you're going to get healed. On the flip side, even if you're... oh, well, that was smooth. Okay. Another life down. Bright side, again, I had my demons. That's not worth the risk. It's a gray chest. All it does is drop you potions. Gray chests are... As you get farther in the game, and it's less like you're going to find a merchant, there becomes fewer and fewer reasons to grab Jade chests. Anyways, so Curse of the Alchemist can have some major advantages in the fact that you can get some rare potions off some very common stuff. And some terrible potions, which you draw a lot of murky waters, ass potions, whatever. Whenever you draw those now, those are actually good things for you to drink, because they have the potential of being something that's really good. They can be the potion that, you know, boosts your overall damage. They can be potions that give you more regeneration or give you free lives. However, on the flip side, they can also be potions that hurt you now. Your health potions no longer are guaranteed to heal you. They could instead actually do you damage. Or, you know, that health potion might just give you poison or some other negative aspect. So, while positive, it's also very negative. However, the Curse of Animated Objects in single player is just pure negative. There's no advantages to having the objects come alive. You don't have any advantage to killing more things. It doesn't help you revive your butt or anything like that. It's just additional things that are trying to kill you. Which is why that is probably the worst of the curses I got. Curse of Darkness is a joke. Makes it so you can't see as far, but that is not a big deal. Oh, by the way, as far as this room goes, enemies just keep spawning until you kill all 3 ice dogs. However, I have low health, and I really don't want to die, so I'm rolling around and I'm trying to deal with enemies while barely damaging the top stocks, which is why that took so long. As far as damage types go, using ice against demons works very, very well. Using poison against, using poison on demons is also very effective. Using fire on demons is ineffective. Using poison on undead is ineffective. I'm trying to think, and I think the only enemy that ice doesn't hurt is the ice golem and the ice necromancer. Ooh, so that source of the necromancer is really nice. It gives you back all of your mana upon a kill. So if I manage to kill an enemy using a magic attack, I will get all of my magic or all my mana back. So it really just incentivizes you using your magic like crazy. This I've never gotten before. And it's not that effective. The way this club works is basically you hit an enemy and it summons in a mallet to strike a location. So it's got low damage, but it relies on that mallet striking to do high damage. Really good against stationary targets, but with the little guys moving around, I trade it out, I go back and I get that hammer. Even if I hate the hammer, it is better than that mallet. And this is the final boss. Final boss is a 3-part fight. You have to deal with Tornado Clone, which is what just happened. If you get this guy down below half his health, he clones himself out, and you have to kill 2 of the Tornado guys. Once you kill him, you've got this deformed monstrosity. He's not really bad. All he does is this attack here, which has random drops, and you can see where those are falling, and then he summons additional enemies. But outside of that, he doesn't really have a way to directly hurt you besides this piece. So as long as you're paying attention, you dodge those, you're great. So if I can just finish him off real quick, we'll move on to the 3rd stage. And this 3rd stage is actually very different than the rest of the game up to this point. There we go, on to the 3rd stage. You'll notice a little catch me if you can. This is the 3rd stage, which is basically a supernova style game where you're basically going up and down and shooting. You can still use your weapon in this stage. However, you have to get really close to do it. And with him doing all these area attacks and whatnot, it really doesn't work well. I don't know if it is your spell damage that affects how much these little fireballs actually do. It could be. I do know that currently my character does a lot more damage with his actual club than he does with these fireballs, though. Which is why you'll notice whenever I get close, I just swing at him. Because I know I do more damage. On the bright side, I still have 5 lives. And if I can get my demons back, I get back my other one. So I'm immortal again. Which means I have 1 spare life. And then I have these extra lives available. Also, kill the dragons and they'll give you health. There's 1 life down, 3 lives left. If I can kill enough enemies, I can get my demons back and I'll go back to having an extra life. But it's more focusing on just killing this boss. If I can manage to drop the boss, it doesn't matter how many lives I've got. It's auto-win at that point, right? Boss is dead, this is the final piece. So I'm hoping I can finish this guy off. That is the goal. However, I keep on getting boxed in locations where I'm getting hit. Managed to get immortality back from the dragons. So again, I have another life now where if I die, I'm fine. So I'm going to be a little more daring with my attacks, get a little more up in the face, because my hammer does more damage. I need to get up there and actually use my hammer as much as I can, because I can damage more. There goes that other life. And I'm already down half health from just those first few seconds of when I came back and was directly in his path. I think I can push the fight. Just pushing the fight right now is probably the right solution. Down to 2 lives. I just want to get up and close and finish it. Otherwise, this fight's going to go forever. There are some armors that really, really help you out at the end. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's basically an armor that only specifically blocks projectiles. And as a result of it only blocking projectiles, you get 25 of it. So you can take 25 hits without taking damage from projectiles. If you have that at the end right here, you just get up in his face and you go nuts. He's so close to dead. However, I'm also on my last life. So I just need... There we go. That's it. That is all there is to it. Look at those achievements. I got King and Man of War. Man of War means I've beaten the game with all characters on hard. And I also just beat the game with all characters on hard, beat the game without dying on hard, and managed to beat the game on Insane. That is the end of my Rampage Knights run on Insane. You guys all have a good night, a great tomorrow, and an amazing rest of the week. I'll see you next time.